What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a video that I don't really want to do because this isn't something that I necessarily like to talk about, but I want to do it because it's for Buddy and I want a tribute video for him because he means so much to me. So we're going to get into that. Before I start this video, I would like to apologize now that if it's boring, I'm sorry, but I'm basically just going to be talking about Buddy's life and how much he meant to me. I know most people, when a horse passes away, they just do like an edit and that's it. The problem is, basically, all the footage I have of Buddy is phone footage and it looks horrible in video, so can't do that. Buddy's registered name was Principal Investment. He was born March 22nd, 1995. He was 15'3", and he was 23 years old when he passed away. So he'd be 23 right now. Today is exactly 6 months since Buddy passed away. Buddy passed away on April 18th, 2018 at 7:20 p.m. I'm going to get into that day toward the end of the video, but that's why it is being posted today and at 7:20 p.m. I met Buddy in November of 2010, and the place that I took lessons at, which I'm not going to name because, privacy reasons. I don't ride there anymore, but still. My trainer bought him to be a lesson horse, and he was one of the first horses that she trusted me to get on early, because typically she had her more experienced riders get on and test the horse out for her and everything, which there were people before me, but I was one of the first people to ride him. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually really scared to get on him, but within like 5 minutes I had fallen in love with him. I took lessons on him for 2 years. I don't think I had ever loved a horse as much as I loved him. He taught me a lot. Like, he was the horse that gave me confidence when I cantered, because before that I had had horses try to buck me off, I had fallen off, I had horses bolt with me, and he was the first horse that I got on and I truly felt like he was taking care of me. Then on Valentine's Day of 2012, I was in 5th grade. My parents got me out of school early, saying that we were going to feed the horses treats for Valentine's Day. I know, I was a stupid kid. Thinking, oh yeah, that's a great idea. When we got to the barn, my parents pulled out this gift bag, and in it was this halter, and it says Buddy on it. And on the other side, it says, loved by owners Kelly and Katie, and then our last name, but I'm covering that for privacy reasons. Then when we went into the barn, Buddy's stall had a poster board on it that said, Kelly and Katie are the proud owners of Buddy, or like, not loved by it. It's something proud. But it's basically like the equivalent of putting a bow on his stall, but it was a poster instead. One of the best days of my life. By far. I feel like every time I've gotten a horse has been another best day of my life, but they're all on the same level. He celebrated his first birthday with us on March 22nd, obviously, and he turned 17 that year, so we got him when he was 16. So I started riding him more. He was the only horse I ever rode, but I started riding him once or twice a week because I'd have a lesson, then I'd go out on the weekend and I'd ride him again. And I started volunteering every Tuesday, and which I volunteered for a couple of years, but that doesn't have anything to do with Buddy, but that's a whole different story. We had to board until 2015, but that'll be later in the story. In September or October of 2012, Buddy started to go lame. We weren't completely sure why, so we had the vet out and we found out that his hocks were fusing, which, if you don't know what that means, I'll try to find an article and I'll link it down in the description, but it's basically the bones in their hocks have to fuse together, and then he won't be in any pain. Typically every older horse goes through it, so We were just in that phase. And they told us that they didn't know how long it would take for him to get better, and they weren't sure if he would ever be 100% again, which he ended up never being 100% again. I'm not trying to scare you if you have an older horse, I'm just saying this is my story. So we started to do Hock injections every once in a while, and they weren't really working. Like, they would work for a week or two, and then he would just kind of be like, he'd be lame again. So my riding kind of came to a stop in 2012, just because of where Buddy was, and we couldn't afford to buy another horse. We couldn't afford to lease a horse, and there was no chance I was going to sell Buddy, so I just had to deal with that, which I feel like to an extent it was a blessing, because it made me appreciate groundwork and liberty, and it just kind of took me in a completely different direction. Yes, I would love to be competing and to be a better rider and all of that, but I feel like it kind of put where I needed to be in perspective and kind of gave me a chance to really embrace horses and horseback riding. I want to say in like January or February, there was one day where I was at school and my parents got a call from the owner of the barn that said Buddy could not get up. My parents went out there and didn't get me or my sister because they were really worried about what was going to happen that day. Keep in mind, I was in like 6th or 7th grade, so I was still pretty young. Like that, I mean, it was traumatic when it happened in April, but that would have been really traumatic if something had happened and I had been there for it. His vet came out and he had this, I don't think it was like an experimental drug, but it wasn't something that was overly popular here in the US. It was pretty big in Europe, but it wasn't really here yet. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically a Hock injection, but for the whole body. Like, he got the shot in his neck and it basically made him feel better everywhere. And it truly saved Buddy's life. And he did well for probably 6 months, and then we had to go back to the Hock injections, because the full body thing was like over $1,000. Like, it wasn't something we could do regularly. So it was just kind of, if he gets really bad, we'll do another one. But to kind of keep him going, let's just keep it to Hock injections. That pretty much went until 2015. From late 2013 to early 2016, I did not ride. Like, I didn't do it. We had stopped lessons at that point because of how much money we needed to make Buddy feel better, and I didn't really want to ride anybody else. I just wanted to see Buddy when I was there. On July 31st of 2015, we brought Buddy home, because we bought a farm in 2014, built a barn and all the fence and everything in 2015, brought him home in July, which was another one of the best days of my life. It was pretty stressful though. We got him home and he was scared, he was alone. He was not a horse that could be alone, which, don't worry, the next day we went and got Apache, so he was alone for maybe 24 hours. So yeah, April 18th, 2018. I had state testing that day, so I got out of school at like 11, and I got home at like noon. You'll see why that's important later. I decided to go out and hang out with the horses pretty much for like an hour and a half. Like, I didn't ride or anything, I just went out and I brushed them all and I kind of did some tricks with them, and you know, I enjoyed the morning. And I don't know why, but I just asked my sister to take a video of Buddy hugging me. I had her take a video of him hugging me, which, like, I don't know why I asked her to, I just did. And that was the last time he hugged me. And it was on film, which means a lot to me. I'll put that here.
Oh, yeah.
I know, again, it's a bad video, it's a phone video, but that video will forever be important to me. When we first got home, Buddy was laying down, but I didn't think anything of it. Like, he always took a nap in the day and he would always lay down, so I didn't really think anything of it. But I went out there and started to hang out with him, and that was that. So then I went inside and just did whatever for like an hour and a half. And when I came out to feed them, I realized that Buddy was down again, which wasn't like him. Typically he would lay down once a day and that was it. So I walked out and I noticed that he didn't get up, which, like, he was comfortable with me, like, sitting next to him when he was laying down, so, like, it wasn't like that type of thing. But usually he would get up to come see me and he didn't get up. So I walked out to him and I realized he was breathing really hard. Like, it was almost like he was suffocating. Like, he could not breathe. Like, it was just like, I'm not gonna act it out. Like, he seemed like he was suffocating. And he had this, like, I thought it was like mucus coming out of his nose, but it was actually foam. And I thought he had a cold or something like that, you know, being optimistic. But he wouldn't get up, and he would try to lay back, and he would have to sit back up because it was like he was choking. So we called the vet, and when she came out, we got him up, which was good, and he was breathing better when he was standing, but he seemed really uncomfortable. So the vet did a rectal exam to see if he was colicking, which he wasn't. Then she tubed him. This is all after she took a temperature and, you know, listened to his heart and everything. And she found that his heart murmur was way worse than it had been a month before. And, like, it was, like, she could hear it just as loud, like this murmur on both sides, she could hear, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like this weird sound. She had me listen to it. And it should be louder on one side, but she could hear it just as loud on both sides, and it was really loud. Like, it wasn't like a static sound, but it's almost like when you're watching TV and there's like a static. Like, you can hear the heart beating, but you can hear all this other noise around it, which was the murmur. And she said it was louder than it should be. And I want to say she ultrasounded. I think there was an ultrasound. I know she brought out I think it was an ultrasound. Yeah, it was an ultrasound. And when she started doing that, I really started to get scared. Because she said, I don't know how long he has left. Like, when she first got out, not when she first got out there, when she was doing this ultrasound, she was thinking he had a couple days to a couple weeks left to live, which I started to cry, but, like, you know, that seemed awful to me. But then, as she kept doing these tests, she started saying, well, he probably has 24 hours to live. And after the ultrasound, she listened to him again, and by this point, she had given him a sedative so that she could tube him. She gave him Lasix so that he could start... Okay, so basically what was happening to his heart is the murmur, obviously. But he was getting all this fluid buildup because his body was trying to fix it, but it couldn't. And his heart wasn't beating efficiently, so he couldn't, like, clear it all out. And he was basically suffocating. It was... Basically, what was going to happen is the fluid was going to continue to build up, and it would press on his lungs, and he would suffocate and die a slow, painful death. And the vet told us that. So she gave him Lasix. Before any of you, like, racing haters hate on me, like, oh my gosh, racehorse people use Lasix. Yes, they do. It clears out the chest. It was to help him. It took him out of his pain. And she told us that he had 6 hours to live, and that we could either find him dead in the morning, or we could put him down now, where he would not be in any pain. The choice was left to me. because he was my horse. Like, obviously everybody was giving me their input and everything, but in the end it was my decision, which it was by far the hardest decision of my life. I I love owning animals and owning horses and everything, but that, like, I've had animals pass away before, and we have had to make the decision to put them down, but it has never been my decision. But with Buddy, it was mine because he was my horse. I made the decision to put him down. Okay. I made that decision because he had done so much for me, and I wasn't about to let him sit there and suffer. And I didn't want to find him dead in the morning. I didn't want him to sit there alone at night, scared because he couldn't breathe. I figured it was just best that I put him down. I was given some time to be with him. When my dad got home from work, we walked out and we picked his grave. He's buried down at the end of the grass pasture. He has the best view on the farm. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna cry or not. I might cry, but I might not. Like, I don't know how. Like, sometimes I cry, sometimes I can talk about it. I don't know. But we walked out and we picked his grave. And when I came back, the hard part is because he was on all these painkillers and he was on Lasix, he looked perfectly fine. Like, he was walking around normal, he was eating grass, like, he was doing great. But, you know, once that wore off, he was gonna be down again, so we had to put him down. And they asked me if I wanted to be there when they put him down, which I did not. Like, I know. Like, I wanted to be with him until the end, but I don't think I could have watched my best friend die. Like, I couldn't just stand there and watch him. I just, I didn't want to see him dead. So, I told him I didn't want to do that. Then they asked me if I just wanted to go inside or if I wanted to walk him to where he's going to be buried, because, you know, once he's down, we can't move him. So we have to have him near where the hole is going to be dug. Oh my gosh. I decided to walk him out there because I wanted to be with him for as long as I could. I have to keep, like, cutting. My SD card just filled up. Eyes opened and there was a rainbow, and my parents told me when they came in later that night after Buddy was buried, they told me that when the sky opened and when there was a rainbow, like, that was the moment that Buddy died. I don't want to be the one sitting here like, oh gosh, religion and everything. Like, I mean, I have strong feelings about religion, but, like, if that wasn't a sign that he was in heaven, I don't know what is. For me, that made me feel so much better. Like, I felt like he was safe then, you know? Like, obviously still I have a feeling of loss. Like, I have a hole in my heart that will never be filled. But I'm at ease with it. Like, I feel like he's safe now. Like, not like he wasn't safe here, but, like, nothing can hurt him now. Yeah, so that was that day. Do I wish I still had Buddy? Yeah, obviously I do. Like, I loved that horse so much. But at the same time, the timing was really good. If Buddy had not died when he did, I wouldn't have Geronimo, which, like, is just me trying to find the positives in it. But, like, I mean, I love Geronimo, I'm not saying that, but, like, if Buddy had died earlier or later, the chances of me having Geronimo are not very high. I don't know if I would call, like, the whole heart horse thing, like, I feel like every horse I've had has been my heart horse. Like, I don't believe in having one heart horse. I feel like every horse has something to give you, and I feel like a heart horse is a horse that has changed you as a person, and I feel like every horse that I've had and donkeys that I've had have changed my life for the better, so I feel like everybody's been a heart horse to me. I mean, I know in these clips you guys can't see my tears, but they were real. It's not like a Laura Lee type situation. I was actually crying. And I'm not asking for pity or anything in this video. I am doing this as a tribute to Buddy. Okay, I have to talk really fast because I don't really have any memory left on my card, but I have to get this outro done. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I have some cool videos coming, including a project and a stupid how-to video that's really just a joke, but we're going to post it anyway. So, I hope you guys all have a great day and enjoy it. I would like to apologize for that outro. I'm not one to talk like, you know, good old James Charles, but hey, here I am.